Welcome to Stirred Up. I'm Heather.
I'm Jessica.
Welcome to our podcast where business meets happy hour and we're serving up brand insights with bar rail banter.
We're two Midwest corporate pros who love dissecting popular brands, not just for their marketing genius or business moves,
but for their corporate integrity. Together, Jess and I dig into sustainability, leadership, and how brands are actually impacting the world we live in.
All while keeping it fun, relatable, and let's be honest, fueled by some Fireball too.
Woohoo! So whether we're clinking glasses to the brands who are doing it right,
or closing the book on the one that missed the mark,
we'll bring you the real, unfiltered takes on what the brands are doing that are shaping our world and the lives we live daily.
So grab a drink, settle in, and let's get this shit stirred up. Ready for the people. Hold on, she is not. I'm going to do better about talking into my mic like you do. I had all this, I was telling you how to talk into the mic for the first 5 episodes, and then you nailed it. And then I don't know what happened. I got chill. And I moved away or something. I don't know what happened. But I'm going to do better. That's the truth.
Yeah.
No comment.
I move around at work. I think when we first started recording, it was the first thing I was doing that was used my brain all day.
Uh-huh.
The brain that I like to use. Now that I'm working, I'm okay, well,
yeah.
You get what's left. So she's a little more still. She's a little more steady.
I understand that.
The Cadillac's driven around the block more than once today. Mom girl needs to take a nap.
And we're not. We're still
we're fucking grinding.
Firing at all cylinders.
We're fucking welcome.
We're here. Welcome back to Midland.
Welcome to Stirred Up.
Welcome to Stirred Up.
I'm Heather.
I'm Jessica.
Tell them this week's stats, mama girl.
We have yet another record-breaking week. I think this is 3 in a row.
Three in a row.
We've got a little bit of income coming in.
Yes.
Which is so exciting.
We got a jet.
I really do want to take a screenshot of our text and frame it for maybe put it into one of these frames, because I was like, Heather, we made $50. And you're like, that's insane. That's how I read it.
Yeah.
You were so fucking pumped.
I was so pumped. I mean.
So it's sort of when a bar makes their first $1.
100%.
And they pin it to the wall.
100%.
So that's our version of it. So I'll print it.
I remember when I got my first tip out as a waitress. And I was like, fuck yeah, bitch. Y'all better watch out now. So when you told me we made $50, I was like, holy shit. Just off of one sponsorship in 1 week. So
yeah,
if you get comfort and you want us to brand it, we will absolutely do that.
Yeah, repeat to them what we're doing.
Go ahead.
So if you buy Comfort, using our code or not, but you should use our code if you want 15% off, comfort.com/stirreduppod. Even better, if you want some stirred up logo work, get in touch with us. Mm-hmm. We'll make it happen at no extra charge.
And throw extra stuff in there. We got matches and chapstick and all sorts of shit.
Swag. We got some shit you can have. All right, welcome back to Midland. You were in Houston last time we spoke. I'm glad that we still were able to get an episode in. We had part 1 of Stanley, and before we get into that, we have the spill. We're going to catch up on all the things, but then we're going to have part 2 of Stanley today. So I'm excited to carry that on. There's a lot to unpack there.
There's a lot to unpack with Stanley. Yeah, I did go to Houston. I worked. I went really early, I think last Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember the day. And got there around 10 and I worked. Brewer went with me. It was his very first trip. He had his Department of Transportation paperwork. It was his very first service trip.
Yeah, we heard all about it.
Yeah, he did. He was a good boy. He got his wings. He hold on though. Shout out to the Delta crew. I'm just going to say, I've been on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Delta flights at this point. Not even exaggerating, hundreds. And I've met 3 downright rotten ones and 5 downright you're having a bad day. You're not a Karen, but you're
not at your best.
You're not at your best. Some shit fucking went down. You've had it. Fine. But 99.9% of the time, the people of Delta, whether it be the crew, on board, the boarding, they're wonderful.
Agreed.
So shout out to Delta. Shout out to everyone who flew my Delta flight. Shout out to my fucking buddy Brewer who rocked it the fuck out. So we went to Houston. Funny story. We went antiquing just for like a short couple hours one afternoon, not even a couple, like just an hour and a half. And I was super pumped because I got these really awesome sunglasses that look very similar to these.
Okay.
Right here. Pumped. They're
Right.
Sunglasses, they're $5. I got them for Liv because I had already gotten sunglasses from Free People. I didn't bring sunglasses to Houston because my my new ones for my vacation hadn't come yet. So when I got to Houston, I just wore Christie's silver aviators from who fucking knows when. I rolled that around with that shit. And then I got the ones at the store, but didn't put them on until I was unloading everything and packing it up to go home. And I'm in the car and I have these new sunglasses on that I brought for Liv, but ended up wearing at the last minute because I didn't want to steal Christy. So I'm in the car and we're driving and we're in Houston and it's like an hour to the airport. And I'm like, fuck, vision's fucked up. And I keep like rubbing my eyes and I'm like putting the glasses off and I'm putting the glasses back on and I'm putting them down and I'm reading my fucking email and I'm like, I'm having.
Did you buy bifocals?
I thought I was having a panic attack. I'm like, my vision's going.
No, you didn't think you were having a panic attack. You started to have a health anxiety attack.
Full blown. The dog's licking me. Christy's trying to play the radio. She knows, like, I'm getting rashy.
Oh God, Heather.
Because I already got.
What was it? What happened?
Well, what do you think happened?
That you bought prescription glasses and didn't know it.
100%.
Yeah.
So they were fine. Looking into them, from whatever this view is.
Near
40, the 40-year-old view, unless you're born blind, like my child and my husband. But the 40-year-old view is like I have a consistent...
like near sight.
Works great. Even the sunglasses, great. And then I looked down and I felt like I was fucking drunk.
I do think that I might have been bifocals.
Jessica, not only did I buy Mike a woman's coat, I was wearing bifocals like for an hour in the car in Houston, trying to eat, talk on the phone, get to the airport on time, send emails, not have a panic attack.
We might need to get you focused medication, Heather.
I think we might need to think about it.
We might need to think about it.
Do you think? They were sunglass bifocals. You know what I mean? Progressives, my mom called them when I told her. My mom goes, those are progressives.
Yeah, that is what they're called. She's right.
Tell you what they progressed me to, the fucking loony bin.
Guess what, Heather?
What?
You're probably, just hold on to them, put them in your drawer for a couple of years. Next time you find them, you're going to need them anyways.
Probably already do. I just needed to get used to the ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe it was just like the motion sickness.
Like already an old person who's like, I don't like to see well. I'm going to have a panic attack. I'd rather be blind.
Literally 2 years, you're going to be doing one of these numbers, and then you just get those bitches out, and you'll be fine.
All right, funnier story for you. Then I want to hear what your week was, because I do know you have something funny in there.
I don't know if I do.
You do. Also, I was in Houston. It was 80 degrees. I worked outside all day Friday, all day Thursday, all day Friday. Honestly, like a good portion on nerdy stuff on Saturday that like helped me think for Monday. Long story short, my computer was outside on the back covered porch for 4 or 5 days.
Cooking. Yeah,
I was cooking. That's the kids call it. You know that my kids call that? Like when you're fucking getting after it. Mama, I was cooking. That means like I was working.
Oh.
Like I was working. I was cooking. Mama, cooking. So I was cooking. I was working. But I didn't need to be on camera. I was either working on strategy or I was off camera. So Monday morning, 7 a.m., I'm up on camera in Houston. Gotta go. And I'm starting to itch. Uh-oh. And I put an ant out on my computer, and then I put another ant out, and then another ant, and then I'm like, fucking shit. I'm trying to be on camera, and you know how I move anyways, and I'm starting to itch, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Anyway, I was like slapping ants, and I'm looking on the floor, and I'm trying to pay attention. I'm like, Miss Christie's got an ant problem. We should have negotiated some pest control in this situation. Those fuckers had slept in my keyboard and from my computer being outside for 5 days, and they were coming out of my keyboard keys.
Oh my God, stop. What did you do?
Itched. I gave myself a full-blown rash, itching.
Heather, did you fix your keyboard?
I just kept smashing them the whole time.
Just waiting for them all to come out.
Once I figured out where they were coming from, I was like, all right, you motherfuckers.
That's the thing.
Try me. What did you and Maddie and the babies do this weekend? Were they hanging from you like little sloths from trees?
Yes. Truly they were. On Sunday, I was so touched out. I was like ready to just cry at any given moment. We were spring cleaning. We didn't really have a lot going on. We had like a little birthday party for Peyton to go to for a friend on Saturday. So just like little stuff like that occupied things. It was just trying to get stuff done around the house. And yes, too many people were touching me. Too many people were too close. I was losing it. Like I almost went crazy, but we got that all cleaned up. And then Sunday,
what did you get cleaned up?
I told the kids so it was a twofold task. We have like
Fireball, you deserve it.
When we walk into the front door, you know this, but maybe not everybody else does. When you walk into our like main front door, there's a coat closet and a coat closet on each side, and it's just like they're just like double doors. Like it's not like a big closet thing, but it's mom and dad's closet, the kids' closet. Keep it all separate. And the kids' closet was chaos because they just throw their stuff in there. They can't reach the hanger stuff.
You have kids, but you also have babies. Clay's still a baby.
Totally.
He's not, you know what I mean? He doesn't want to be called that. He's a fucking toddler.
Yeah,
he's a baby.
Totally.
A little fucking man. And she's a little lady.
We had do coats fit? We're getting out of the snow pants season and Peyton did grow, and like shoes, do they fit? So, and then they were just thrown everywhere. And then that's also where we keep like the vacuum cleaner and a couple of other cleaning things. So I told the kids, take everything, get it out, make a big mess right here.
Fireball.
Get this all out.
Oh, you wanted him to just rip it out.
You rip it out. Have fun with it.
That's how Marie Kondo does it. Rips it the fuck out of the closet.
Good. See, that's what we did. I said, like, make a big mess right here. And then you're in charge of finding matches. Everybody has to find matches. So they had to, like, find all their shoes. And then we started to figure out, then people would be like, oh, I don't like these shoes anymore. So then I'm like, okay, put them in the pile to go. And make a pile to get rid of.
Give them to somebody else,
Yeah,
mama.
like everybody has to have a job. So by the time they were done with that, we had somebody got to vacuum and somebody got to mop. So we got the whole thing cleaned up. That was very rewarding. That was maybe the highlight of my weekend. But after all of the touched out nonsense, I was just like, I can't do another hard thing. And our goal by the end of the weekend was to get all of our like tax documents organized. And I told Matt, I just can't do it. We've been putting this off for too long, but I can't do that. Just no, it's just too hard. So I did it. Yes, like as like a part of my breaks in my work day, like over lunchtime, like I had to just commit to doing it this week. I'm not kidding. Like the amount of rage that it brought me to go hunt down documents and like just upload them. Like it's not that hard. I despise it more than laundry. Like name a couple of things that you hate.
Lady, I'm 40. Take a fucking seat. So Cooper is 10. And I think it was either Friday morning or Monday morning. It doesn't actually matter. And I'm sleeping I'm sleeping in Miss Christie's room, and Cooper's on a twin mattress on the floor. It doesn't actually matter. And he gets up, and every morning he's like, Cooper, get in the shower. I turn the shower on, and I kind of like came to a little bit. I fall back asleep. But this particular morning, out of the 3 or 4 he had to go to school, he was like, hey, Mom, did you hear Donald Trump canceled the Department of Education? He's like,
10.
What does that mean?
Oh,
it's like 5:30 in the fucking morning.
He thought maybe he'd have to go to school.
I wake up. She's in the front room. Cooper's in the shower screaming about the Department of Education.
He's like, do I really have to do this?
He's like, hey, Mom, Donald Trump canceled the Department of Education. What does that mean for me? And she's like, Cooper, do you want a waffle or a smoothie?
One of the funny things about a Peyton story, because like that's mostly the things that are going on in my life. So she listens to the music that we listen to. She also has her own requests, but you know, she listens to our music. And I have a lot of Kendrick Lamar going on, and we were listening to Turn the TV Off, and it's not what it's called. It's called TV Off with Mustard. And
who? Mustard?
Mustard, DJ
like ketchup
Mustard.
And mustard?
Yeah, his name is Dijon. They call him Mustard. His actual name is Dijon.
That's absolutely hilarious.
She's walking around the house and she goes, turn the TV off. Turn the TV off. She's singing the song. She's like, turn the TV off. And Matt is also like, why? What is wrong with the TV? What is happening? And I knew what she was talking about. I was like, no, it's a song. So she wants to play it. So we turned the song on and she's singing it. And I was like, I thought this was going to be like a kid's song. You're listening to Kendrick Lamar. She's singing. She's like, yeah. And so then she knew the words at the end, but didn't know, she knew like the rhythm, and she was singing like sounds that sounded like that. So I had to go look up the lyrics, and they go, crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious, crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. So she's just walking around the house saying words that kind of sound like that. So I looked it up so that and I taught her what they were. So now she says, turn the TV off. Mustard! And then she goes, crazy, scary, scoopy, hilarious. But she was literally singing, like she was saying, like, turn the TV off. And Matt's like, why? What's wrong with the TV?
What's happening there?
I don't know, but I have some like other in the news stuff that I was going to reference. So I want to like chit chat about this, and let's get into Stanley. Okay. So 23andMe, you know what it is, right? Mm-hmm. Genetic testing where people like
100%.
Yep. 2 years ago, they had a data breach. They had 9 or 7. There's an odd number under a single digit odd number. I don't want to say 9 or 7. I just dropped my paper. It doesn't really matter. We can spitball it. Millions, like almost 10 million customers' data was breached in this security leak of like their genetic data and maybe sensitive family data. Like you don't know even their contact information, who knows, credit card, social security, like who knows? I don't know if social security would be necessary in a database like that. But they had a data breach.
But anybody's nightmare and like the shit you wouldn't want other people to know about your shit.
HIPAA protected data. Very serious. It was a $30 million lawsuit, and it took a $5 or $6 million valuation company basically now down to worthless. They filed for bankruptcy this week, and the CEO was the founder. So I've been watching her post, like she's presented things to the board then left. Like the whole thing is under like, it's just falling apart before her eyes. And it's an organization that she founded, right? Has a great vision for. And yes, something that went very wrong in her organization, she's trying to fix. And then the board in particular, and like really the people around her are supposed to be advisors. It's all just falling apart. I'm sure there's more to it. Part of my problem is when I've been looking at some of the good like business sources, like I don't have a subscription. I can't have a subscription to every single news source. Because like the Atlantic and Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg, and I have Bloomberg, but like then the Wall Street Journal breaks something. Yeah, like New York Times. Have it all. We don't have it all. So some of the information where like good stuff has been reported, I just don't have access to the full article, so I don't know everything that's been publicly reported. But to me, this is just crazy fascinating. So first of all, the one thing that I do want to raise is that when a company goes bankrupt, their assets are now up for valuation. Like if you foreclose on something.
The
house and the property is an asset. Mm-hmm. And then the bank has to go sell it. Like the investors have to go get the most they can out of what's owed to them. So the founder has had to step down as CEO so that she can be in the best position, this is what she said, the best position she can to go buy it, to be somebody who can go advocate for the company and take it over. So she can't be a conflict of interest. She's got to be an outside party. So she's had to step down from her own company but be
a lobbyist basically.
In attempt to like take it over. Right? As an outside party. That's interesting. Second thing, their biggest asset is the consumer data that everybody swabbed their DNA, put into a database. That's their business model. Like that's what they do. If you did a 23andMe and you don't know who it's going to be sold to the highest bidder, I think you call them and ask for your stuff to be erased. That's to me like,
or get on that class action, bitch.
Yeah, but there's not a class action lawsuit filed against them yet, to my knowledge. It's just a bankruptcy. But to me,
why are they bankrupt though? What's your takeaway on that?
Because they had this insane data breach that like broke. If your margins aren't great,
what causes the breach of data?
I don't know how they broke. If it's a user error too, or like one employee error, the entire company is held liable. So whatever happened, somebody I don't know, like hackers. Like it's happened to a lot of companies, like financial institutions and stuff. When they can access everything and it's a HIPAA violation, it's tens of millions of dollars. And that was crippling. They couldn't survive it. It's been something I've been watching, just myself along the sides. And I have been, and like, not a whole lot of fun personal stuff since we...
I got eyelashes and I got my vagina waxed today.
Very good. Your eyelashes look gorgeous. I noticed.
I can't. I think I look like a $2 hooker.
Really? I think it looks good. I think it looks great.
I don't think it looks like me at all. I look too happy. I look more emoji or what do you call it? Emo, not emoji.
I'm leaving that in there. No, I think it looks really good. I'm jealous a little bit.
And they make me more tired. I'd rather just close my eyes. It's so heavy to stay awake now.
So when Tay comments that your eyes are closed during storytelling
time, I got fake eyelashes, bitch. And then my neighbor goes, are those fakes? Are those extensions? Are those tips? Are those highlights? Are those lowlights? I'm like, bitch, I don't know. It costs $100 and I had to lay with my eyes closed for an hour.
So you took a nap.
I did that. And then I got my bikini line waxed today.
This is for vacation. This is for spring break.
This is for, we're going crawfishing. Have you ever had your vagina waxed?
No, I actually have never had a hair wax experience, not even my eyebrows. I just don't have anything that really makes it necessary.
You don't have a hairy V?
I don't think so. It's not like a problem in bathing suits.
It doesn't hang out of your suit?
No, I don't think so, but you can tell me this summer. Like, you've seen me this
I will
summer.
do one of these.
Yeah, do one of those. I have more skin than you. Like, like things cover it.
My teeth on the mic.
I know, I heard it.
I'm telling you what. You may have more skin than me, but I'm Italian, and that woman was down there leafing through my business for a minute today, and I've been waxed. So a lot of here's the deal though. I want to tell you this.
Okay.
I either know women who have not been waxed at all, truly,
me.
or ones that go like every 4 weeks and have been doing it for 10 years.
Me too. I know that's basically
I go for spring fucking break if I'm trying to get pregnant, not divorced. A diamond. I mean, you name it.
So,
anyway, from as easy to taking a trip down to Clearwater. No, I'm kidding. Mike Smith better be taking me something better than Clearwater if I'm getting a wax. But anyway, my point is,
you know how you're supposed to practice gratitude about things that, like, whatever. So practicing gratitude is better, good for your mental health.
I do it all day fucking long.
Okay, well,
I
try.
When I'm not saying fuck you, I'm practicing.
I occasionally go through moments where I'm like, oh, this is an opportunity for gratitude. And usually, all winter, actually, I think I would go like probably 2 to 3 weeks between shaving my legs.
Yeah, of course.
And my moment of gratitude routinely this winter was I'm thankful to have hair on my legs that is fine enough that I can go this long that nobody's complaining.
You're literally one of the smartest person I know, and the fact that you're bent over in your shower with your ass up in the air going, I'm so grateful my legs grow hair.
That their hair is thin hair. Like, it's simple. It's not coarse. It's not noticeable.
Well, I'm living in the Amazon over here, bitch. Well, you're barely gonna need daylight there in the swamp.
No, truly.
Dry.
Hey, you don't get to pick the things you're grateful for. Like, it's just things that come into your life. And
that's true.
And it was just a reality. Like, I was just grateful that wasn't a problem for me. In the summertime, it's a little bit different for sure, but I'm still not a daily shaver.
All I know is she's like, we'll do the sugar scrub. And then she was like, nope, we're getting that 80s wax out and we're going to like.
That's what she said?
Basically. I mean, I've had moments where I actually think my vagina got ripped off.
For certain.
A couple times.
I have one more random comment. Rob Taylor says he's halfway through our last episode of Stirred Up. He's going to leave comments on this episode, and he has a teary-eyed, laughy face. The comment about huge growth on Harry's dick, I hope people know it's a dog. I said, LMAO.
And the fact that I said something out loud, like stroke your dick. I do not. So people know that. Like, I don't say things like that. I think about it.
And Harry's a dog. And she's not stroking his dick. It's
I am not. He's a 90-year-old hairy mastiff.
Hairy Mastiff.
He's
a hairy Mastiff?
His name is Harrison James. And he's a good boy. And he had a little growth on his Peter.
All right. So let's take a break.
Mike's like...
We'll get into the real tea. Heather's leading the rest of this conversation, so...
I'm not. Mike also knows he wore a woman's coat, so...
He still doesn't know.
Yeah, he wants to know.
Oh, he does know.
He
listens?
Yeah.
Go, Mike. Well, welcome back, Mike.
He thinks that's funny. I said that today. If you're not going to listen to my podcast, what good are you to me? I said that too. Welcome to...
The Real Tea.
The Real Tea.
Hey, we're back for The Real Tea. Comfort.com/startuppod. Get 15% off. We're entering The Real Tea right now. We're going to talk about the second part 2 of Stanley Cups. We discussed last week about the history of Stanley. We discussed kind of a stagnant growth, if you'd be honest. Like, I didn't think it was like crazy early growth.
It didn't stagnant growth. It did nothing. It was like it died. It was shroomed up. It was fall grass. I don't know.
And fall grass. An incredible product that had like really interesting World War II component stories.
And a shout out to those who DM'd us. Sorry to interrupt, but... And have given us your Stanley stories. Like my dad had one. He took soup, and my dad had one. Miss Christie, I was in Houston. She goes, my dad was an engineer, and then he went to graduate. Like wherever, even like
there's personal stories
from blue collar to farm to engineer to like whatever. You took your Stanley cup, your Stanley soup. You dropped it out of airplanes. Like shout out to Stanley from like 19 whatever.
Personal and close to you because it went with you throughout all of your days.
Yeah, you just remember it. If you see the same thing over and over, it's like wearing your red boots as a little girl, or like, you know what I mean? Like whatever that
Stanley
nostalgia.
Was there with you.
Stanley was with you.
Carhartt.
It didn't do a fucking thing.
I would say that like the way that Carhartt nostalgia is for us.
Yeah, but Carhartt kept it moving. Stanley didn't move.
So then Stanley did. So we discussed how
they didn't move for a minute. They hibernated.
Agreed. It's really hibernated. They didn't die, but they hibernated.
That bear was sleeping. Those angel wings were heavy.
And they had their moment. And
had a moment. We're still having a moment.
They still are having a moment. That's where we kicked off in where we ended part 1.
From a sustainability. So first of all, they're made in China. Let's call that out there. And they've had some lead concerns. And
hold on. I had an impression that it wasn't always the case that they were made in China. It's more of like a modern
U.S. And then it went to like maybe a European country, and then it's like generally in China.
Created a lead concern.
Correct. But the claims are. There's a couple claims. There's some claims that the lids have fallen off and burnt people, maybe like 90 different claims that have caused X, Y, and Z. I kind of compare it in my mind to the McDonald's coffee concern of like the late 90s, early 2000s, or don't blame my date, but like when the woman burned her vagina. Right. Because she spilled hot coffee on her vagina and she sued McDonald's because the coffee was too fucking hot. I remember my mama bitching about that in the car. She had my mother, when she was bitching about it, was fabulous at the time and had like all the Mary Kay makeup, everything but her cigarette, bitching about how this bitch burnt her crotch and it was her own fault. The fact that she burnt herself and now coffee costs more money is this bitch's fault. Anyway, the lady probably had no vagina. My mom was mad because coffee cost her 11 more cents. They've also had some lead legal issues, and basically Stanley's reply to those claims has been the lead is like inside like vacuum steel, vacuum whatever the scientific term is.
Oh, like you're not exposed to it.
You are not exposed. There's no way you can be exposed.
Do we trust that?
Same reason your drink's cold. It's the same reason the fucking lead's not coming out. Do I trust it? Fuck no. That shit's made in China.
Are tigers dangerous?
Depends.
What does it depend on?
The kind of tiger.
Wouldn't you say that all tigers are really dangerous?
No.
Tigers are dangerous. I'd be afraid of a tiger or a lion or something else, a mountain lion.
I would not. Why?
Because they are factually dangerous.
That's how I feel about people.
Okay,
factually dangerous.
All right, fair. All right, then let's talk about people.
If I saw some rando strange man at the end of your driveway with an AK-47 and he happened to be white with a backpack, I'd be fucking nervous.
Okay. All right, my point is something that you know to be dangerous, a lion. I would not want to approach a lion or a tiger without something that I knew that I would be safe. If I had like approached a lion or a tiger in the world, just naturally, like that would be scary for me because I wouldn't trust that I was safe. I would assume that I was in danger. But when I go to the zoo, I see a lion or a tiger and I'm not afraid. And why not? Because they're behind cages, like they're behind bars. So the context of the danger as to where it can present itself to me is relevant. Like if you take a Stanley apart and there's lead inside, yeah, like it's not intended to be taken apart. And we already knew it was a very durable product. It's virtually indestructible. So why are we concerned about something, to Stanley's point, that makes it the product that it is? Like, what are they going to do about it? It's on the inside of the vacuum sealed product.
You're talking about like a fucking mammal that came like ashes to ashes, dust to dust from Jesus versus like a fucking metal cup.
No,
so like it's not apples to apples.
It's not from Jesus, by the way. Why isn't it apples to apples? We're talking about the context of like perspective of danger, I think is what the point is.
I don't think it matters if it's a tiger or not. Like what's inside the tiger.
If the lead isn't exposed to you, it's inside the vacuum seal of the cup.
It's not exposed to you until it's exposed to you. You don't know what's inside the tiger until you destruct it. Until it blows up in your kid's face. Then you're fucking pissed. That's my point.
Okay, fair enough.
So overall, like it's not like, we're dropping bombs over Baghdad. You know what I'm saying? But they've got some controversy and whatever. But basically they blew up because a woman's blog said these are cool. And the woman said, here's the colors. And then the colors turned into brand collaborations, and brand collaborations turned into more brand collaborations. And then you do marketing release. I think what the conversation for me is how many Stanleys are in your cupboard? Where do they come from? Do your kids have them? Because Liv has straw toppers. You don't have one.
I don't have any in our house.
I've never bought one for myself. The point with Stanley is what I've dug into is what they really have created, and I will attest to this, is a superior product. I don't love a Yeti. From its initial product conception, it was way too heavy for my tiny little lady hands. Like even my 12-year-old who only weighs 80 pounds has longer hands than me. It was like carrying a newborn baby constantly, like in my grip. It didn't always fit in my cup holder, so it didn't come down. So when the Stanley was reinvented, whatever the year that was, it was really recently. I really think they have a superior product, from how cold it keeps your drinks to how it is designed to sit inside your cup holder to not spill, to the I say that word for me because words are hard.
Microbial?
They don't stink, and although I don't put I don't put a lot of protein shakes or milk or anything besides water in mine, if I'm going to be really honest, but they seem to not smell moldy. Their straws are nice. You can drop them. They're very durable. The point is they took the durability and the science, in my opinion, and made a modern day cup that functionally was a product from a functional durability, long lasting perspective for a woman. And then they said, oh, maybe we should ask women how they want it to look and how they want it to feel when they hold that cup.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of what I was sort of thinking through it. I also got tendonitis in my wrist from holding my cup when I was traveling 40% of the time, dumping it, filling it up at airports, undumping it. Chrissy's a PT, from holding that 40-ounce fucker. It literally, I'm not kidding you, Mama girl.
No, I believe it.
Hurt me. When my hormones were off, when my fucking hormones were off from my, whatever the things, and I had frozen shoulder and my sciatica and all the things, same thing was happening. And Miss Chrissy said, that's from your Stanley. There's a whole Reddit. There's a whole community around tendonitis, frozen shoulder, whatever for your Stanley. So I now carry 30-ouncer is my takeaway. And I don't carry it on its awesome handle. I use the handle to drink. I carry it, for all the tips out there, underneath your armpit. Even if you have a baby, it's Stanley baby. You know what I mean? Then you have a free arm to protect the haters, the jeepers, the creepers, get into the car, out of the car, in the car seat.
The demonstration is top notch.
Yeah. If I don't have at least 3 to 7 of these fuckers a day. I'm like a window licker over here. So thirsty. I'm like licking the humidity out of the air.
I understand.
Angry thirsty. What I wanted you to sit on and what I want to ask our audience and what I'm interested about and what I want to question you about is how many Stanleys does the average household have, or like cups? How big is that market? Where are they produced? Even Yeti's producing overseas. Like, who can we trust? There's not, I mean, at the end of the day, like there's some really great performance and they're all produced in all mainstream.
And how does that matter to us? We'll have to think about that.
Oh, if we're not drinking lead, as long as it's not cracking and hurting us. They basically took aesthetic, which is brand.
Part of the brand. A brand evolution for them.
It took a really good brand and aesthetic visual identity and a really incredible product.
Really incredible product and made it beautiful.
Yeah.
Product evolution in that sense.
Yeah.
Tapped into a different market.
Okay.
Utilized a new channel, influencer marketing. Created an entire new cult following.
Okay, so there you go. So then demand creation was TikTok, influencers, brand collab, more TikTok, influencers. Like was the middle school big gift of choice. Like if you were a middle class young lady, grandma and aunties and everyone pulled in and got my daughter got a Stanley from her aunties.
What was the partnerships that mattered?
So Barbie, Starbucks, so you name it, they all sell out.
The pivotal one was the sort of random Utah buyer's guide girl. Yes. That was like a vlogger, influencer. But she mattered.
Styler.
That was a major one.
Major.
Put it on the map.
Yeah. But she wasn't a brand collab though. She was a brand ambassador.
Really? Like hardly. Yeah, brand ambassador.
She was.
Sure.
They said sell 5,000. Okay. So she was an influencer and an ambassador.
Okay. What if you were to pick like 3 major brand collabs?
I think Barbie was a big one.
Okay.
I think Starbucks was a big one.
I think so too. Starbucks is also a cult following.
Carrie Underwood had a pretty decent one for Dick's. But then they have like nostalgic colors. They had the lavender, which is a big deal. Even our fuchsia and our orange. So if you have a fuchsia and an orange from us and a purple, our colors, you guys, our colors
are hard to get. Talk about your experience as a brand without necessarily naming the brand, whatever you want to do or whatever you're comfortable doing, but like creating partnerships with retail organizations that are like, make it worth my time. And you have to give them an exclusive product, or like they're saying our customers expect exclusive products from us. What element of that do you think plays into some of the coloring branding options that now Stanley's realized that they've unlocked with like the Dicks of the world?
Brand strategy, whether it's Stanley or a Carrie Underwood brand, both has strategic priorities that at the top of the house have to align for the collab to even have a conversation to begin with. I think if you're doing good brand collaborations, your values have to align, from the type of products you create to the quality to the sustainability. Like it's just like you and I as business partners, if our values don't align or your values don't align with your partner in life or your company or whatever, like at the end of the day, brand strategy is really like, what's our values? What are we good at? Where do we want to go? Where do we play? And then finding someone else who can help you do that and win. So that's the top of the house. I think that happens.
Like, how crazy is that they've had that many brand partnerships in such a short period of time that they can be certain that their brand
Messy was their first, like, so think about it. The fact that you took a commodity, like a fucking bottle.
100 years old.
We've been fucking dropping this shit out of planes since World War II. We talked about that last episode. And you said, oh, well, we need to drink more. Like all the way from like people are drinking more water to the health effect to the macro to the micro, all the way through like lavender is the color of the year. Like they literally took functionality through fat to fashion. And then sold it for $50.
A venue, to your point, a venue of drinking water, should be the most commodity thing.
So I think really good brands understand that fundamentally, that you can push the best product in the whole world, But if you don't understand the market and the people and the culture all the way through the functionality they need and perhaps what they want to, feel the need to, like to, whatever that driver is for the color of cup or the kind of cup, I think as a brand today, you're responsible for not only understanding and keeping a pulse of all of that, but then taking like true data from past and present and saying, okay, you know, how are we creating things that speak to that market today?
And then partnering with our retail
providers. And then partnering with retail providers, because the retailer is really counting on you as the brand to come to them and say, okay, you're the expert in fasteners or pants or cups or bathing suits. You come tell me, Miss Jessica, the head of Yeti, and Miss Heather, the head of Stanley, why should I give you a bay versus someone else? Lowe's or Home Depot or Target or Walmart or Menards or Lowe's, yes, they have their own data sets, their own teams, they're doing analytics and whatever, but they're expecting even their business partners, their brand partners, to come to the table as an expert in their category. Lowe's can't possibly be an expert in every category. But what Lowe's is expecting is, hey, Jessica, you're the brand steward of Yeti. Mm-hmm. You tell me what's going to sell best through my store. So every spring, you're going to tell me what color and why and who and how. And then my data of sell-through is going to tell you what makes more sense for next year.
In order to achieve all of that, it's a matter of licensing. You are really passionate about licensing. Mm-hmm. What are the licensing variables that Stanley has utilized, whether it's Barbie, Carrie Underwood? The transformation in Stanley has been a matter of them becoming a more aesthetic brand. How do those licensing deals earn them? Like, what do those licensing deals, because they have to pay those people money. Mm-hmm. So how do those work when it comes to, like, is that actually like an advantage to them?
We have to look at brand as an asset. And so I think what you need to think about, or what the audience should think about in terms of like true collaboration, is a lot of the times that like one company has a really amazing product like Stanley, but perhaps is like out of touch, doesn't have the resources, isn't the strategy, or like needs re-entry, whatever that whatever that reason may be.
Brand stretch, Barbie. Like Stanley now has an extension to women, now Barbie. Like that's an interesting, previously unacceptable brand licensing option, right?
Yeah, I've seen the ridiculous shit. Owen, shout out to Owen. He has Grimace Crocs, which I find like belligerent. So like at the end of the day, like, but Stanley had a great product. Barbie has a great brand. Both
interesting
strategic teams said there is an intersect of the people who should have, need, want, desire, have a problem to solve for this great product. And oh, by the way, love this great iconic brand.
And for the first time ever, they've overlapped.
And now we're overlapping.
Right.
And so from a revenue perspective, like brand licensing is incredibly lucrative. Is there a similar market? Is there a similar problem to solve? They said, there's a whole market of humans, generally women, who need to drink more water because we're fucking inflamed. And Stanley said, we have a really great product, and they like fucked with the product and like tried to like
beautiful.
They tried to make it like a Yeti, and then they got the product right. To your point, it was easier to hold, it set, and the cup holder better. Like it was true product experience. And then they said, oh, it can't be army green and ugly. Like if this bitch is going to carry this around in her $4,000 shoes.
Like someone had the audacity.
Or with her child, she didn't even think that she wanted. And it's the one, her favorite child's in one arm and her water bottle's in the other.
Oh, and her Stanley.
Like, damn it, Peyton, don't fall, because this costs $50 and you basically cost a deductible too. Like we're even over here. You know what I mean though? So
I do.
98% of brand licensing goes to the bottom line. So let's say you spend $100 million on brand licensing.
Which sounds like a lot of money. to just
fuck ton of money.
What does that mean? So it would mean in those examples, it would mean Barbie spends $100 million to give to Stanley to put on their product, but Barbie gets all of that back in their bottom line somehow.
No, don't think of terms. No. Yes and no. It could be
or Stanley has to pay to put Barbie on.
That's where you're at.
Okay. So
reverse it.
So Stanley has to pay $100 million to put Barbie.
And they could, and the terms could change. Barbie would be the licensor, and Stanley would be the licensee, and Barbie is getting money from the licensor as the licensee. It's like paying rent for that brand. I have a great product, but I don't have the brand. I don't have the team to spend on. That's how I feel about a lot of B2B companies.
What I think is really interesting is that this, like, Stanley started as rugged, green, World War II, boys, bros,
Camping. Reef. Coast.
Barbie, Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
In your assessment of those top kind of like hot hitting brand partnerships, would you say is more of a matter of like product extension or simply just demand creation? And then like for Stanley, is there a difference?
I think that product extension can be part of your demand creation strategy. And they like pushed it all the way through to like fuchsia was going to sell to the soccer mom versus orange to the whoever versus we just needed the nostalgic green for the Pacific Northwesters who are eating out of, beeswax sandwich bags.
Interesting. So like the problem we saw for a Messi fan might have been an athletic choice, which may not be the same as like the Barbie person. But
you have
the problem to be solved is still hydration.
Whether you're a kid from the 80s where Barbie only, and then you talk about like Barbie, like when I was a kid, Barbie only looked cute. Now Liv and I go.
But to be cute.
She still looks cute and she's fucking smart and she's a dentist and she's fucking hydrated. Barbie's skin doesn't look like what did I tell you? Hydrated like a 38-year-old. Me and Barbie. You know that I could talk about brand forever. Like we could talk about religion or like where we're going on spring break. Like I just really love brand.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, brand's made up of people and brands, in my opinions, work to serve people. And so what's interesting about Stanley is sometimes the people that create the brands don't have the best product. And sometimes people who create the best product don't know the best way to reach the people who need it. And I think what's the really interesting between me and you, like the interesting segregation between product and brand is like to find how that awesome product and that like meaning, need, value, want, desire, problem to solve that product gives also has the brand and the people behind it who also care about the way it's sold, how it's sold, what it looks like when it's sold. It's like all the intangibles you can't necessarily touch but mean just as much to you as it not spilling out of the cup holder. Yeah. So like that dialogue to me never gets old.
100-year-old brand.
100? Dude.
We have looked at a lot of ancient brands. Like that seems to be part of the thread that is stirred up. Is old
I'd like to know where they're made in China today. Like eventually in 2 to 3 years, I'd like to be like, I'm almost thinking like the vision for us is like we're almost reporters. And we're not reporting what we read, we report what we see. And I think that would be very interesting for you and I to debate like what we see in front of our own eyes.
A little bit more investigative element to it. I agree. I
think that's interesting.
I have that vision for us.
It's easy for us to just repeat what we read or argue with one another, but like what do we actually see with our own eyes?
Analyzing
we need a plane for that.
Has
not fucking flying commercial to Istanbul. You got to be kidding me right now. Even though that's really good for the environment. So maybe I will if I'm in the one. If I'm in the one with my dog, I'll do it.
Are you clinking or closing to Stanley?
I never bought any.
Yeah,
so
but
I'm gonna
Heather, that's not
no.
Really?
Because I feel like I would have already. Yeah,
All
but
right.
I'm not buying one. No, not for $50. I'm not buying a $50 fucking cup. Are you kidding me?
Okay, this is
Are you
hilarious.
kidding me right
This is
now?
hysterical. So the person who has $700 worth of Stanley cups in her cupboard says she was not going to buy more.
not.
And so she's not clinking.
I'll clink. I'm spending my money. It's like
Okay.
saying, like, I'll clink to Carnival because they're doing a great job of not polluting our oceans, but I would rather die than be on a boat with 2,000 strangers. That's
So
kind
I
of what
guess,
said.
no, truly, I think that's
I'm
so
thirsty and I'm going to drink
So-
water. And if my mom buys me the lavender Stanley cup that some bitches at Dow High stole from me, then I'll drink out of it. I'm not banning. You're asking me if I'm closing because I've never bought it to begin with. I'm not banning it.
Yeah, you're like not opposed to it. You're gonna roll with it.
I'm rolling.
But you're gonna from the point of view of like you're not going ever out of your way to buying one for any reason whatsoever.
I have people way cooler in my life paying attention to that for us.
So and,
My mother,
but
my
so
sister-in-law.
But it was not like for clarity purposes. Like you don't have an opposition to the brand from like an
Yeah, it's the
ethical point of
pricing.
view.
It's the price point.
Okay, so that's me too. So.
Not spending $50 for a cup, I'm absolutely gonna fucking lose. My mother will put $50 into a fucking slot machine than buy me a Stanley cup because I'm gonna lose that bitch. Is there one here?
No, we don't have a single Stanley in the
Really?
room.
Not
we
one.
don't.
Well,
Okay, so that's my point also. Because it is too high of a price point, it just
it's a
doesn't make sense
luxury for me, and I'd
Yeah.
rather spend money on my old aging face, my gray fucking hair,
Heather,
my eyes.
Can we gift items to people that we close on? Like,
Yes.
what if they gave us a brand deal?
Because, I am also someone like my mother, as I'm getting older, that says my mother, no one's bought my mother a Stanley cup either. So I guess what I'm saying is like,
Okay, so would you gift it?
if my
Would you gift it?
absolutely, if my
Okay.
niece said to me, Auntie, I really want the lemon Stanley cup, or my
Okay.
nephew said
All right,
to me,
so then
Auntie,
you have to clink.
I will clink.
Okay.
But
so
I'm
then
not
you have-
buying it
All right, so fair enough.
for myself,
All right,
for other people.
Fair. I will clink to
It's a gift,
same.
which is interesting. Gifts, the luxury market, how that works, what you are willing to give versus receive. That's a whole nother thing we need to put on the memory board.
Yeah, so I'm not shutting them down because I don't think that they're bad and
We might be drinking lead. We might be getting burned in our vaginas like McDonald's in the 90s. We don't know.
I feel
Jessica
pretty-
doesn't know. She doesn't have fucking... Send Jessica a cup. SOS.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening to Stirred Up. If you like what you heard, please subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. Follow us on your podcast apps. Please send it to a friend. Leave a comment. Add a rating. Every little bit helps. We look forward to seeing you next week.